We see this question all the time. What is the difference between a will and a trust? Can you answer that?
Yes. Oh, that question is one of the most common questions that we get or that attorneys often get. Wills and revocable trusts are both valid choices, so you can't really make a wrong decision between choosing between these tools. It's just making a decision about which one fits your family the best right now. Wills and revocable living trusts are both basically lists of instructions on what to do with our assets if we pass away. They're both a valid way to do it. So they're just tools in the estate planning toolbox. The difference between the two is that wills are simpler and easier to get put in place, less expensive to get put in place on the front end. But when a person passes away, that will goes through an administrative process at the county court level, at your local court, to make sure that that will gets carried out the way that it's written.
So that's a good thing.
It can be a good thing. There's a lot of horror stories about probate out there that it is time-consuming and expensive. It doesn't have to be. The fact that you've planned makes it much more of a smooth process. It's a lot easier for the person who's planned than the person who hasn't planned. A will is supervised when a person passes away. Revocable trusts are more work and more expense on the front end to get it created and to get it set up properly. And then the idea is that when a person passes away, you sidestep that court supervision process. And so where one is simpler and easier and less expensive on the front end, a little more work on the back end, the trust is more work on the front end in order to try to minimize the court involvement on the back end.
Okay. So who should have a will and who should have a trust?
Well, that's a decision for each family, but generally, the younger you are, the simpler things are in your life, the simpler your assets are, the more a will is probably going to fit your family. The older we get, the more complexity we have in our family and our assets, the more likely that you might want to investigate a revocable trust. And we're all on this spectrum where, you might have a time in your life where a will is the right tool for you, and then circumstances at some point change to the extent that you would maybe shift gears and use a revocable trust.
There you go. So for most people, a will work for them.
Yeah, for most people, the will is the tool that gets chosen.